Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a really cool install. We've got the latest rear screen from TesStudio. This thing's supposed to do it all. So let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to put it in my Model 3 and let's open it up. And here we have the box. I've still got it shrink wrapped just to show that I've never opened this before. And let's go ahead and take a look. All right, this is our first time unboxing. This is what you get. Obviously a wiring harness and the screen itself. More wiring harness and pry tool included. Okay, and this is the screen. You've got your new vents at the bottom here. You do have two USB-C ports. If you take a look here, you'll see that this one is actually for data and this one is for power. All right, well, I don't see any instructions in the kit, so we're going to go ahead and just wing it. And here's a closer look at some of the things that were in the kit here. Of course, you get a pry tool to help out. You do get a USB-C to USB-A dongle here, just so you can still use your USB-A devices. This, I'm not sure what's for. It looks like it's some sort of a loop-back device to block a port of some sort. So we'll have to take a look and see where that goes. And then you've got three wiring harnesses. I don't know exactly what is what, but I will see if I can make it make sense when I'm in there. I know that the screen itself does have the capability of moving the passenger front seat backwards and forwards. I've had that previously with another kit. And so I know it's got its own wiring harness that sends it to the passenger seat on the side where you control all the controls. That is a feature that you'll need a wiring kit for that. So I'm assuming one of these is for that. So before we get this in the car, let's just take a look at a few of the specs here. This is supposed to be an 8.6-inch screen. So if I measure diagonally here, you will see 8 point, roughly, it says like 8.9 or so, but it kind of depends on if there's a bezel. There might be a bezel right here. If I measure from that bezel, then it's, yeah, right around 8.6. All right, so this has a few new features here. 5-seat heating control, original car volume adjustment, song switching, professional high-quality dual speakers, negative ion air purification, driver and passenger massage function. It's got an 8.66-inch screen, Android system app download, so you can put apps on here, rear air conditioning control, CarPlay, and it supports over-the-air upgrades. And the more I think of it, when I look at these harnesses, there's only a couple plugs back here. You've got this plug here and you've got one down in here, and that looks like it's about it. So you're not going to need 3 plug harnesses for that. So what this usually means, if I've remember anything from installing their equipment, they like to supply all the equipment in one box regardless of which model vehicle you have. So this is specifically made for Model 3 and Model Y. Well, there's different revisions over the years of those cars. One, like mine, has an older processor made from Intel. So mine has the Intel Atom. The newer cars have the AMD Ryzen chip. And there's another harness for, I want to say the standard range Model Y that does not have the OMD2 port in the back. it has it up front by the passenger footwell. So I think it's got a different connector for that. All of their connectors have a very specific port that they connect to, so you don't have to worry about sticking the wrong cable into the wrong port because it just won't fit. So I believe you're only going to pick one of these. I think the easiest way to tell, and I'll show you in the car, is when you actually get to the OMD2 port in the back there, it's going to plug into one of these. One's like a 26 pin. I want to say the other's like a 20 pin. They're physically different. You see, one's longer than the other. So you just have to see which one you have, and then once you've established that, then you'll just go ahead and use that one wiring harness, and you can discard the other two. And a quick note about this loop back here. This is actually to cap off power to the screen. So you've got a power cable inside the car that you're no longer going to need. So this is going to cap that off, and you will now be getting power from that OBD2 port with this wiring harness. So that's why they did it this way. All right, let me first show you what we're working with here. This is the other hand show screen that I installed a few years ago. It's pretty cool. It does a lot of the things we need it to do, and you can change audio, you can change the temperature, a few other things. You can move the passenger seat forwards and backwards with this one, and that's about it. It's pretty limited, and it works fine though. So we're going to go ahead and remove this one and put this larger screen in. If you're following along and you've got just the standard vent here and you want to see how that's removed, it's going to be removed just like this one. It's very similar, but if you want to see the original one, I'll put a link above here so you can see me swapping that out for this unit here. So there's not going to be a whole lot different. I'm going to go ahead and remove this one, and we'll start working on the car. Now that you have the seats moved all the way forward, you can safely power off the vehicle. You just go into the safety menu, and there's a power off at the very bottom. Just hold that down until you get a little pop-up menu, and now you can safely power it off. I've already got this loosened up down here. You can just pop this off. You can get the pry tool in here and just pull on that, and this will pop right off. Just like that. You can now put this out of the way. And this is your OBD2 port here. This is the main thing that you're going to connect your wiring harness to. You'll see I've got it tucked away down here because I've already got this other screen connected. But the blue is the factory one from the car. The white one is the one from hand show. And you see this blue one originally was connected to this blue one. So I'm going to remove this unit, put in the new one, and let's go ahead and remove this. You don't really need any special tools to remove this. It just pops off as well. It's just kind of held in with clips. So you just want to grab it with both hands and just kind of pry it back like that. And that is all you got here. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these. Put this out of the way. I've got one more here. And now this is out of the way. And for these clips down here, you just pull these out like that. That leaves me with this wiring harness to remove. All right, so I finally got all the wiring harnesses out of the way. I popped this out a little bit here just so I can make it easier to get to some of those wires that were down there. You'll see I've still got it disconnected from the OBD2 port just to make things easier. And my car is an older 2019 model. It's got the Intel processor, and it only has this one cord here, and that was what was connected to the USB ports in the original vent that I took off. So since this is the only power cable back here, I do not have the larger one that some of the Model Ys have. So I will not need to use that loop back plug to block off the power there. I will just use, you know, this one here. On the driver's side, I do have the massaging seat unit from Hancho from several years ago that I've got installed. And I'm just going to disconnect this and run the new wires up here, and it just plugs into that little box right there. So you can do your best if you want to try to take this off. It's kind of hard to get to, all the screws and stuff underneath. So what I usually do is I just pull this back, and if you want to get a large object to kind of wedge in here to give yourself some space to use both hands, you can do that. Passenger side is a lot easier. There is a T20 underneath that's easier to get to on the passenger side, but not necessary, but this is how I do it. All right, so I've got the wiring harness that I think I need here. I'm just going to double check it. There's a male end here, the female end here. If this is the right harness, it will just click right in place. It'll fit. And yes, that is the right one for this car. All you have to do is try to match yours up with your car, and that's the wiring harness you're going to use going forward. So now I can unravel some of this to kind of make sense of this, and that should be it. All right, I've got the wiring harness all unraveled here. It can be confusing at first, but just keep in mind every plug has a designated spot that only connects to that plug. So you don't have to worry about where does this one go. You just match it up with the one that's the same size. So these big ones are going to be down below under here where the OBD2 is, those blue ones right there. And there's two plugs off of that. This one and this one connect to behind the new screen. And then there's two little branches off of those. There's a shielded one with a sheath around it, and then another one that's a bare wire. This one with the shielded sheath, that's going to go to your passenger side seat, and it connects to the little box where your controls to move the seat back and forward are. This bare cable is going to go to the driver's side, also to that same little box. And they just split off at the end here. So like I said, there's only one way for this to go. One will go into the box and the other one will go into the cable that originally came with the car. So this is just kind of like a little in-between splitter for that. All right, since I only need these two cables to connect to the screen, I'm going to come up from underneath and route it up here. This is the original power cable for the car. I don't think I'm going to need this. I think this is going to replace it. So I'm going to connect this to the screen. I'll leave this one tucked in underneath here, but I'm just going to go underneath and route this up through here. And that way I can leave all this other stuff down below where I can send it to either side of the seats here. All right, so I've got them here, and now I can run my wires where I need to run them. All right, before I connect everything underneath, I'm going to go ahead and install the screen itself. And the way I'm going to do that is the white plug goes into this white port right here, and then this black one goes into the cable here. So that's easy enough. This isn't connected to anything just yet, so there's no harm in, sending power to this right now. So the front end of the clip is going to go towards the vent area. I know it's kind of hard to see here, but I'm just going to push this in. And then this, of course, clips into place here. like that. And now you can tuck the excess down underneath here. Just get that out of the way. And now this just slides into place, and you'll add a little bit of pressure to clip it in. And there it is. So this is what it's supposed to look like installed. And I don't have all the wiring connected just yet. I just wanted to show you how it sticks out. So it does drop down a little further. So the air is now going to flow from this way and follow down a channel and out this way. And you'll be able to move it side to side. Doesn't look like you can move it up and down, but side to side, you can move it that way. Immediately I can tell that it stands out a little bit further than the factory vents and even that other aftermarket screen that I had. It wasn't sticking out this far, but also keep in mind, I've got the front seats all the way forward, so once they come back, it should be a little bit more flush with this, but it does stick out a little bit more, but you're getting so much more in exchange for that. So next I'm going to just route the wires underneath the seat. There's a little flap right here that you can pull and run the wires up and over into that side where you can just pull the side back and clip this into place. And that'll be one side, and then you can go do that to the driver's side, and you'll really be done. All you have to do is install those little clips there, and that will add power to everything. I just want to get everything plugged in before I do that. All right, and the last step is going to be to connect the OBD2 port to this. So this will click in like that. It only goes one way. So there you go. Try it one way. If it doesn't fit, try it, flip it over, try the other way. All right, everything is connected. Let's see if we have power. All right, we have power. Let's go ahead and see what this does when it's booting up. It is running Android. All right, so this is the first screen that we are encountering here, and it looks like I've got fan speed here and temperature here. Okay, so you've got your fixed buttons down here, and this is what you're going to select for your, your AC and all that. So I think this is the air ionizer here, which is interesting. I'm not sure how that's going to work. You've got keep, you've got dog mode, camp mode, and there is a child lock, so you can keep your child from bumping this. Over here, you've got your heated seats. I do like that you can select your, heated seat preference, but what I don't really like is that now my kids can select the driver or passenger seat from back here and play tricks on us while we're driving. So I'm not a big fan of front seat controls from the back seat, but that's something else. So here, okay, interesting. There are settings here that you don't even get on your main center screen up there. So this does come with massaging seats. So if I select the level of massage, it will start massaging the seat here. Now on the passenger side, You can do a move it front and back, recline it back and forth, and massage. So the massage, you just tap it there. So it looks like we'll be putting our kids to work back here. Let me go ahead and move it back a little bit. And if I want to recline it, let me see if I can recline it. Yes. All right. So all of that works. You can even open your glove box. Interesting. All right, so that's cool, but like I said, I don't want these features on the back screen for the kids. I want them somewhere else in the car up front where we can control it and not them. So that's a negative in my opinion. Let's go ahead and keep looking here. So music, you can pause, you can skip tracks, you can raise and lower the volume. Looks like this might be apps here. So yes, you've got all these things built in here. Now, I don't believe this has a LTE connector, or if it even uses the car's LTE connector. This may use Wi-Fi unless you have a hotspot on your mobile phone. So I'll test this out to see if you can, stream YouTube videos and whatnot. See, you are offline. Check your connection. So yeah, I think you do have to set this up for Wi-Fi. And if you have a hotspot on your phone, you can connect it to that as well. And that way you can use it on the road. Next here, this is... There's more here. Let's see. We cannot reach Netflix. Okay. So it's complaining it doesn't have service. Let's go here. So these are the settings. Vehicle left, right, rudder settings. I think they're talking about steering wheels. All right. So my car is a left-hand drive car. I'm going to go ahead and leave it at left rudder. Temperature, I'm in the United States, so we use Fahrenheit here. I know it's dumb, but that's what we use. So let's go ahead and do that. 24-hour time format. We'll go ahead and leave it at 12. Rear seat sensor. I'll go ahead and do that. I'm not sure what that's going to do for me, but I'll at least have that. About. Okay, this is the about. CAN box version. Use local file update. So I think you can plug in like updates through here, but it's supposed to do over-the-air updates as well. Let me see. All right, so I'm just figuring all this stuff out here. So there is a Wi-Fi setting. Okay, so you can add networks here. Interesting. All right, so I just turned on my Wi-Fi. Let's see, is Bluetooth on or off? I think it's just a single button there for that. Bluetooth, you can use wireless game controllers, wireless headsets. I'm assuming we'll have to test this out, but I think that's what the Bluetooth connection is for. Car settings. Let's see here. So you got your network, your volume, your display, as far as backlit, brightness, car settings, sound settings. You've got a master volume, Bluetooth call volume, reverse media volume, navigation volume. You can reset it. Let's see, system optimization. Let's see what it's doing there. It did change it to Fahrenheit. So that's cool. Close screen. Let's go back to car settings because it does have the incorrect time here. It is not 1:50 in the morning. These are Bluetooth settings, so you can pair different devices here. This is just how you do it. You pair the device and you can add a PIN number or whatever. But that's Bluetooth. Just trying to see more settings. Let's see. Language and input, date and time. I do need to set the time zone for this. And for you ASMR people, check this out. Now that I do have Wi-Fi connected, I should have some internet. Okay, let me hit the update button, see if that can update my app over the air through Wi-Fi. Okay, so sign in to Google Play. All right, and this is just where you enter all your credentials, and you should have the keys to the kingdom. So it asked me if I wanted to update the software, so I'm updating the software. All this is done over the air through Wi-Fi. I'm in my garage where I do have a Wi-Fi range extender, and it gets really good speeds out here. Got full bars as far as Wi-Fi connection. And yeah, once I get this all updated, let's test it out. Just rebooted that, and while that's working, I'm going to go ahead and just reinstall this bottom plate. It just snaps into place, and all you really have to do is make sure you tuck some of these cables into this little recessed area under here, like that, and you should be all good. This will all fit in there, no problem. All right, now that everything is booted up, let's go ahead and take a look, and let's try YouTube. Cars everyone wants to see. The new Tesla Model 3 Highland and the Cybertruck. Good old Cybertruck. So the thing that's interesting is the audio is only playing through the speakers here, not the car speakers. So this is good, so you can be listening to music on the main, well, let me test this out. So I just tested this out. You can actually play music up front, just pause and unpause there, and it'll play through all of the speakers, the music from the car, but the audio from YouTube back here is only playing on these rear speakers for the rear passengers. So that's actually something that I would, prefer, because if I'm driving, I don't want to hear audio from kids' videos that they're watching in the back. I would much rather, listen to music while I'm driving and have the kids have their own audio here. They can even have Bluetooth headphones if they want to. So I've got everything put back together. I've got my seats in the position that I like them. And you'll see how far it sticks out here. It is a little bit more than the normal factory air grills, but it is not too crazy as far as how far it sticks out. There's still pass-through room here. Just looking through here, I do see it does have Android Auto. I don't see Apple CarPlay built in. That may be in a future software upgrade. Maybe, I don't know. But Android Auto is definitely built in here. These are just some of the same settings that, like when you pull this down, car settings is the same as car info here. You can just access it multiple ways. Music, let's see where that takes us to. So it does allow you to do save music to a local hard drive that's built in. You could also put in your USB port, and you can search through the folders there. There's photos, Bluetooth music, video. So as you can see, there is a built-in video to test this out. It's actually making me hungry. I do like that when you're playing video and games and stuff through here, the audio is coming through the speakers that are built in, not through your car's speakers. That way, the driver can still listen to music and podcasts and whatever you want to listen to through the main speakers of the car, and the kids back here just have localized speakers for them for that. Now, if mom and dad are playing their music a little too loud and the kids can't hear their audio that they're watching back here, this does have Bluetooth, so you can put Bluetooth earpods or headphones to where they can listen quietly to whatever's playing back here. I'm on the Google Play Store, and I'm just installing some video games here, just kind of scrolling through, looking at stuff. There's all sorts of games you can pick from. These are just apps, so it doesn't have to be games. I mean, you can have Prime Video and Tubi and things like that, it looks like. So some of those games, like, Mahjong and the little Tetris type block puzzle there, you don't need internet connection for those once you've downloaded it to the hard drive built into here. So that's cool. That'll let me be able to go places and have the kids play games while I'm driving and I don't have internet service. So there are things you can do that don't require internet, like Netflix and YouTube and stuff. You can download other apps that don't require internet. Next, I'm going to test the power output of these ports here. I'm going to use my Klein Tools tester, and we'll use the USB-C. So let's go ahead and test this out. So we're getting 5 volts out of this one. Let's see what the data port has for that. It looks like a little bit higher, but also 5 volts, 5.18 on this one versus 5.12 on this one. So it looks like you could get power from both of them, but if you need to use data, like if you're connecting a video game controller or a USB headset or something, you need to plug it into the data port on this side. So I synced my phone with Bluetooth and enabled Apple CarPlay, and now I do have Apple CarPlay, but it's not built in natively to the device. It's actually through my phone. So I can go ahead and use Apple CarPlay when I have my phone tethered to it that way. By the way, if you accidentally press this child lock button, it's going to ask you for a password, and Handshow doesn't provide this. So there's no way to get out of unlocking this without the password. However, you're on the right channel, guys. Hold this down and type in 8687. OK. And now you are unlocked. There's one other thing I haven't figured out yet, and I don't know if there's a way to do it, but I've got it set up to where it does the massaging seats on both the driver and passenger side. And the way you do that is you have to physically touch the screen here. Well, what if you're in the car driving and you're the only one in the car and you want to turn on your seat massage? There's no way to do it. Previously, with the old unit that I had installed, you just tap on the lumbar button that's on the side over here. You tap on the lumbar button a few times and it engages the massage seat. I just tried that and it was not engaging the massage seat. So I think the only way you can do it is from here. So if I'm driving, I'm not going to be able to do it if I'm by myself. But if I've got the family in, I can say, okay, kids, turn mommy and daddy's massaging seats on. And what it actually does is it engages the lumbar support of each chair. On the side of the chair, you've got a button that can manually move the lumbar up or down or out or back in. And when you turn on the massaging seat, it just automatically goes out and in and kind of up and down and out and in. So it massages you kind of like that. It's not the best thing in the world. I mean, there are cars with dedicated back massagers in that do a much better job. This is just kind of a hack that can get the Tesla's air bladder for the lumbar support to kind of inflate and you know, deflate. And it kind of does that kind of thing. So it's cool that it has it. I just wish there was a way to engage that from other than just this touch screen. All right, so that is the 8.6-inch screen. It's really cool. I like that it's incorporated some features from their other devices like the massaging seat. You can move the front passenger seat back and forth to give your rear passengers more leg room if they need to. I think it's really cool. It's got Bluetooth. You can activate Android Auto. You can even do the Apple CarPlay through your phone if you tether it that way through Bluetooth. But yeah, it's really cool. If you've got a hotspot, you can have internet on it anywhere you go. Otherwise, you have to just connect to local Wi-Fi places like in parking lots and whatnot when you're parked. Installation was really easy, pretty straightforward. As long as you figure out which wiring harness to use, you'll be fine. It's not a big deal. So what do you guys think about this? I think it's actually pretty cool. Definitely for the money. They've come down a lot in price. I remember when they were double the price like 2 or 3 years ago. So thanks again for watching, guys. Let me know if you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to see more, consider subscribing. I've also got new merch out there. You can get a shirt like this. This one says Rolling Soul. If you've heard in the car world how those big diesel trucks that blow by and blow the black smoke at you, they call that rolling coal. Well, sol is Spanish for sun. And since you charge up your car from sun and solar, rolling soul is how we do it in the electric world. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you guys in the near future.